Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with the International Motor Show Evolution Cup with the Italdesign Zerouno Duerta being the final car. I'm not even sure I pronounced that right, but the point is that 20 races, you get the prize car, which is likely have to be used in the next event. So if you have the capability to get it, you're going to want it. The regular Italdesign and the Koenigsegg Gemara are the two cars you're going to use. This is not going to be easy as an Evolution Cup simply because any Evolution Cup requires you to have almost fully upgraded car. Also, speed traps, right? We need to talk about those. Let's run the event and discuss these things as we go. Now, both my cars are basically maxed, with the Italdesign missing some body fusions and the Gemara being fully maxed. The Koenigsegg's main strength is that it is a high top speed car and very fast once maxed out. But what if you're missing some parts? Well, let's take a look at how tough. First of all, there are two critical points to meet here in order to beat any Evolution Cup. One is you have to be upgraded enough to be fast enough to beat the fastest opponent, whoever that may be, usually towards the 9th or 10th race. The other piece is you have to beat the toughest speed trap, whatever that may be. So let's take a look here at, first of all, the first few races. These are usually just close enough for the first race for you to be able to beat with the Gemara that basically just was able to beat the Duality Cup. Once you beat that first race, things escalate pretty fast. So we're already looking at 8.4. Now, what you're going to have to know is that in order for you to get through the Evolution Cup, first you need to have your car upgraded enough to handle that time that is there. Now, that's going to require stage 6s. There's no question here that no car is going to make it through this without at least 3 to 4, if not 5 or 6 stage 6s. That is simply because that's how Evolution Cups are designed. If you think that you're going to get 3 stage 6s and missing some fusions and get through this, I hate to give you the bad news. It isn't likely to happen. 305 speed trap isn't that bad. That's only one of 2 speed traps. Let's keep going. The key speed trap's not going to be this one. It's going to be the next one, the harder of the two. Also, keep an eye on the times that the opponents are running, because at the minimum, you have to upgrade your car enough to beat that time. And I suspect that's going to be somewhere in the 7s by the time we get to race number 8, 9, or 10. The other thing is the relays. However, both these cars have decent quarter-mile times, so I think relays won't be as much of a problem overall. The real problem is going to be, 1, beating the time that you need to beat, and 2, the speed trap. Talking about the Gemara speed trap, what I found is that, although I'm not going to show it in the video so much, but what I found is that with the Gemara, if you're cutting it closer to the speed trap, what you want to do is you want to put the car basically to top out at that speed trap, and then launch immediately second in nitrous and let it run through second gear, because that's usually the gear that has the higher top speed. If the, here we go, here's the speed trap, 324 miles per hour. Now, my car is fully maxed, so I'm not doing anything fancy here. I'm actually going to run through both gears like normal, because I can get through this very easily. But on the other account, I did test this, and I can tell you right now that to beat that without full stage 6s, what you're likely going to want to do is, again, put the final gear to end so that the car tops out at 324 miles per hour, and then go to second gear after launch. You get the needle drop in first gear to shift right to second in nitrous, and that likely will give you a better run in the speed trap with a less than fully upgraded car. So here, let's take a look at the time, because now we're looking at some of the fastest times. We're already at 7.5, and the car fully max is like 6.9. So you know that not only are you looking at getting to the speed trap, but you're also looking at least a 7.4, 7.5 run. Understand that if your car can do 7.5, chances are it can do the speed trap. This is even more true with the Italdesign. By the time it can do whatever time that we need to do to get through, chances are that's the amount of upgrades you also need to make that speed trap. So this Evolution Cup is designed pretty much not to give you a break. You're not going to sneak through with some car that is partially built simply because that's not what the event's designed around. It's designed around forcing you to upgrade your car basically to a near fully maxed state. Now, you can probably get away with the Gemara missing 1 or 2 stage 6s, and I suspect it's the same with the Italdesign, but it can't be any of the major stage 6s for time. I mean, maybe intake and turbo you can get away with not having, but pretty much everything else you're going to need, particularly nitrous for both cars, both to make the sprints, the speed traps, but also specifically to make the time. So 7.5 is kind of the goal here for time. 324 mile per hour for the speed trap. And the relay, again, look at the relay should be easy. Easier, I shouldn't say it should be easy, but it should be easier. If your car can already hit those times, it probably won't have a problem hitting the relay times either. So I'm not too worried about the 2 relays. I think more or less the biggest concern here for any player running the Evolution Cup is having enough parts. That's bottom line. You know, you're going to get, sometimes you're going to get duplicate stage 6s. Sometimes you're just going to get a lot of duplicate fusions. You just can't get that epic fusion you need. Unfortunately, these are not new player friendly events, nor are these free to play player friendly events. I mean, generally these things are designed for players that are willing to burn through keys, burn through resources, or buy keys, pull crates, whatever they have to do to get it done. Luck being what it is, and random number generator being what it is, you sometimes can get very lucky and actually get the parts you need very quickly, but many times, and many players, the reality is you'll get the same part over and over again that you don't need because your car already has it, and you're going to end up fighting for a part that you just can't seem to get, and you're going to burn through tons of keys trying to get it. Stage 6s nowadays seem to drop a little easier in the crates than the specific epic fusions. So that's really the issue. I mean, if you're short a few stage 6s but you have a lot of fusions, your chances are good. But if you're short a lot of epic fusions and has the, you know, you have the stage 6s, that may not help you because a lot of these stage 6s uses 3 to 4 epic fusions each, except for turbo and intake, of course, but those are weak stage 6s anyway. So you, even without them, you should be okay, but you need those epic fusions too. So my Italdesign missing some epic fusions, otherwise fully maxed, but still runs about a 7.7 when the car really should be able to run a 7.5. But I think 7.7 is good enough to get me through. So let's see what happens here. The other thing about speed trap with this car doesn't really, I mean, it can outrun its theoretical speed trap in the quarter mile by a few miles per hour. You short shift a little bit second, third, and fourth, while on nitrous after second gear, usually third gear, will get you a pretty good speed trap. You can also do the same thing you do with the Gemara, which is move the final drive to top out at the mile per hour you're looking for. But what I found is that if the car can hit the required times, which is about a 8 point something, 8.0, 7.9, whatever it is, it will also hit the speed trap. So again, it's completely upgrade dependent. Very little you can do to get around that. If you don't have intake, turbo, you know, again, those stage 6s won't make or break your car for you, but you're going to want all the others to both make the time and also to make the speed traps. So nitrous body, tire, trans are pretty important to you. You want to have those. Although on this car, I'm not sure trans is a critical one, but it's, you know, still missing trans and a bunch of others just isn't going to get you through. You're going to need basically 5 stage 6s to comfortably make it through this event. If you have less than that, it doesn't mean you cannot squeeze through on the speed trap, but you also have to make sure that you're running the time, because this car doesn't seem to beat Dyno much either. So while it's you know, theoretically able to, while you're able to theoretically able to get through dyno pretty well, running the dyno time isn't so hard, but running well under the dyno time, not really. All right, so we're on race 15 and the opponents are running 8.4s. That's going to start escalating as you get to 16, 17, 18. So let's just see how fast the opponents get, plus what is that final speed trap that we're going to face in order to win the spider version or the convertible version of this car. Overall, in addition to the fact that I had to build a car I didn't really want to build to just get through this car isn't going to be very useful outside of this event. This is another one of those events where you burn through resources in anticipation that you need the car from the prize for the next car. It's not because I love this car and I want to build it and it's going to be useful to me down the line. It really isn't. However, the Gemara is useful. And not only is it useful here for this event, you have a showdown coming where it can be very useful to help you get yet another prize car. So you definitely don't want to, if you had only enough resources between one of two cars, the Koenigsegg Gemara is the one to build. The Italdesign, if I had to let it go, I would let this car go, but focus my efforts on the Koenigsegg. Knowing the Koenigsegg also has some weird tunes, I will be doing a video on my take on that new Pagani showdown that's coming. The Gemara probably is going to be one of the better cars to use to get you through that, although I did see that another car is usable, and that is a paid car. That car can also be down-tuned for that event. So I think regardless, most of the opponents that you will face in that showdown will initially be nothing other than the Gemara. And a lot of us either acquired it or built it for this event. So we're going to see that. All right, so let's see how fast this opponent runs, because we're nearing the end here. And so we need to know how quick they get, because that's basically your build goal. You have to get your car built enough to beat this time, regardless of anything else. Whoop. Hit the button a little quick there. 8.025. And here we're going to go into the final speed trap. Let's see what that is. And then the relay shouldn't be much of a problem. So let's take a look at speed trap. And that is a 304. Okay, so let me show you something. Skipping gears and hitting nitrous with this car does not really help you with speed traps. Watch as I go through fifth gear, which would theoretically top out over 300. But guess what? Miserable run with the car, 274, even though the car is basically maxed out on stage 6s. However, if you shift it normal, which is quickly to second around 29 miles per hour, nitrous in second, and then just run it through normal, you'll do all right. Now, this is not optimal gearing, so even though I did 310, it's not optimal. I mean, you can still tweak the car if you're missing, say, like I said, the intake and the turbo stage 6s to make that 304, but 304 is not easy. However, my feeling is if your car can do that 8.0 run, it can also do the 304 without a problem. So again, it's parts upgrade limited. So let's go ahead and finish this event. Look at the relay. It's not even extreme. It just says hard, and hard, as we all know from many prior videos, means it's easy. Okay, hard is easy. Easy is super easy, just basically no-brainers. And extreme, unless it's showing 4-bar red, is hard. And if full 4-bar red extreme means it's impossible. So there is, the grading of the difficulties really isn't all that accurate. But hey, whatever. Gemara, again, pretty quick in the quarter mile when it's maxed. So it makes these relays relatively easy because both cars actually are decently fast in the quarter mile. So here you go. We're going to go ahead and finish this up. Collect the car, and that's the end of that Evolution Cup. Not a whole lot of tuning really involved here because my cars are more built. But even if you try using tuning to get around building the car, I can tell you up front, there's not a whole lot of ways to tune around this event. You're going to need to upgrade enough or you're not going to get the car. And that's, again, the de facto point of any Evolution Cup is build it enough or you're not going to make it. There's very little ways to get around that. Okay, so congratulations, you got the Uber Italdesign. That's nice. Another card that I'm going to have to build. Not happy about it necessarily because chances are resources burnt without much use after the event. So interesting card. Not my thing. I mean, I'm not into this particular look. I think it has a lot of design points that are just over designing for the sake of over designing. You know, vents everywhere that may or may not need to be there. The look of the car isn't my thing either. Just overall, I don't like some design aspects of this car from a visual standpoint. It just looks like it's not quite coherent. Even that Lamborghini in the background looks better to me than this car. Not saying that in real life this isn't an awesome car. It's just the look isn't my thing. So anyway, the other point is that this car doesn't seem to have any openings other than the doors. Cool looking interior, but again, nothing that would catch my eye like a Pagani would. Okay, anyway, that is the Evolution Cup. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Feel free to leave a like or dislike or whatever it is that you like to do, but don't just watch the video without leaving any response on either the like or the dislike. And if you like my channel, subscribe, hit the bell, get notifications when I put up new videos like this. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.